Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Please feel free to write to me at walkwithtak@gmail.com if you have any video that you would like me to make. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Well, one of the most important goals of my YouTube channel is to help you to eat more vegetable. Also, not just enjoy eating them, but also enjoy cooking it. Now, eating vegetables sometimes could be the challenge, but the best way to eat more vegetable is to create a vegetable that contains multiple different kinds of vegetables. So this will give you the variations, as well as make the dish interesting. Interesting in many different ways, both in terms of flavor, texture, as well as in appearance. Now, one of the most actually well-loved vegetables that people always say they enjoy them is Brussels sprout. Now, Brussels sprout is relatively inexpensive and it has great flavor. Now, most people cook Brussels sprout by baking them in the oven, but that takes a long time. Who has 30 to 35 minutes just to bake some Brussels sprout? The best way to cook Brussels sprout actually is to stir fry them. The key is that to cut them into pieces. In here, I cut them into quarters. When you cut them into quarters, you can stir fry them in less than about 5 to 6 minutes. Now, Brussels sprout takes a little bit longer time than most other vegetables to cook. So one way to enhance the Brussels sprout texture as well as to cook it in the amount of time that's available to you is to add the Brussels sprout first to the wok. Now, in this case, you can cook other vegetables that require longer time to cook by adding them later. So then you can create a vegetable medley with different kinds of vegetables. The next, I add some broccoli. Now, broccoli is also a great vegetable to stir fry, but it also takes a little bit longer time to cook. Again, depending on how much you like the texture, you can adjust the timing of when you add the broccoli. Now, you notice that when I add the Brussels sprout and the broccoli, you notice that particularly the Brussels sprout, because I added first, you can see that there are some charring on the surface of the Brussels sprout. Because in this case, because the small amount of oil that I add to the wok, so the wok gets really hot when you don't have enough oil, and that is how you create that charring. The charring will give you much greater flavor to the Brussels sprout. Now, if you want to prevent it from char, you add a little bit more oil. If you look right now, at the bottom of the wok, there's hardly any oil in it. This is one strategy for you to actually create charring, and this will make the vegetable taste better. In many ways, it's almost like baking or grilling, and that charring usually provides better flavor. Now, next, I add some mushroom. Now, in this case, I use some white mushroom in combination of portobello mushroom. I always have mushroom in my advanced prepping. Now, you notice that all the vegetable that I use here is part of the advanced prepping. All the free vegetable actually has pretty good shelf life. They will last for about 7 days to 10 days. Now, the mushroom pick up oil readily. So in this case, I add a little bit more oil. You still notice that at the bottom of the wok, there is no oil at all. When you don't have enough oil, again, it will cause the vegetable to char. And in many ways, this charring really adds flavor. So that's something you need to take in mind. If you want the vegetable to char, add just a small amount of oil. And if you looks like they are burning too much, then how you like it, then just add a little bit more oil. Now, one trick I want to share with you is that always keep your oil in a squeeze bottle. This is a very practical way to add oil because you can add whatever amount of oil that you would like. So the next vegetable I'm going to add is some purple cabbage, or you can call it red cabbage. The purple cabbage, again, you can add it at different time points. If you add it earlier, it will give you better flavor, or the texture will be softer. If you add later, it will actually be more crunchy. Now, this is very much a personal preference, depending on how you like it. Now, the aspect of adding the purple cabbage, the distinction is that if you add them early, you will notice that the purple cabbage will cook more and the color will be less vibrant. If you want the color to be more vibrant, you want the purple to stand out, you want the dish to look more pleasing, then add it later. Again, purple cabbage you can add it anytime because you can eat it basically raw, and amount of time you cook it very much based on personal preference. Again, depending on how much purple cabbage you are adding to the dish. If you're only adding a small amount, you can probably add it way at the end. Now you notice that I'm still let the ingredients cook because at this point I decided I'm going to add some color bell pepper. I have some small color bell pepper. Now color bell pepper has a good shelf life if you do not cut it up. But once you cut it up, the shelf life declines rapidly. So I always keep them uncut. The reason that you notice that I'm not stirring because I went to the kitchen counter because I want to cut up the bell pepper so that I can add it to them. All the vegetables that I use in this dish is already available in my advanced prepping. So for me, it is very easy and quick to cook this dish. All I need to do is find the vegetable that I have in the refrigerator. And last but not the least, I'm going to season this dish with some oyster sauce. Oyster sauce is my standby seasoning approach because it is very flexible. It allows you to season the dish in many different ways, and it works well with all different kinds of vegetables. The reason that I choose this vegetable to make this dish, some of them are practical from the standpoint is that because I have them available in my advanced prepping and I want to use them up. And the other reason is that based on how I feel like that evening, and this particular evening, I really like to have Brussels sprouts, and which is one of my favorite vegetables. And I also enjoy broccoli. And because of this reason, the Brussels sprout is the primary ingredient for this dish. And the Brussels and the cauliflower, as well as the other vegetable, serve more as a complement to the dish. So having advanced prepping really gives you a lot of flexibilities. I can choose other type of vegetables that if I want, and based on how I feel like it. This is probably the best way for you to eat as much vegetable as you would like. But more importantly is that you will quickly find that using these combinations, not only that you can eat more different kinds of vegetables, but at the same time, you will be able to choose and select the kind of vegetable that you would like. And this combination actually is really important. Now, when we talk about flavor, most of people think about how you season the dish with salt, pepper, seasoning agents, or sauces. But in fact, the best way to season your dish or do flavor chasing is to select the kind of ingredients that you want to go with the dish. Now, quite often you will quickly find that the combination of different ingredients will create different flavor. Not only the combination is important, but also the ratio is important. For example, if you flip the ratio between, say, mushroom and Brussels sprouts, you will find that you will create quite a different kind of dish. And this approach in flavor chasing is probably the most reliable way for you to create dish with variations and varieties. Because by simply reverse some of those ingredients, you will come up with a very different dish. Now, you notice that the final dish I also contain salmon. So what I did is that in order to create a dish that will also contain meat that I would like to have, I fry the salmon separately. In this case, I fry the salmon with some also mushroom as well as some scallion. Now the mushroom is important in frying the salmon because it will suck up the oil that produced by the salmon, because I fry the skin of the salmon to give it a crispy texture. This gives the salmon a great flavor. So after I cook the vegetable dish, I set it aside, and then I cook the salmon. I use the salmon wok, and after I finish cooking the salmon, which takes only about a couple of minutes because the salmons are cut in small pieces, then I place the salmon over the vegetable medley dish. This creates both diversity, variety, and also provides some really great flavor. And it is this kind of combination, which I refer to as combinatory stir frying, that you fry different ingredients separately. Some of the ingredients, because they take different time to cook to the texture that you want, by cooking like this, I will keep the salmon, the skin, with that crispy texture. So when I lay it on top of this vegetable dish, they will still retain their unique characteristics. And this makes the dish far more interesting than if you fry them together. This dish is quick to cook, particularly if you have all the ingredients on hand. The salmon's already cut up as part of our advanced prepping. So all I need to do is fry them, and then together, when I combine cooking the salmon and the vegetable dish, the total cook time is less than 8 minutes. I cooked this dish using my Cuisinart 14-inch stainless steel wok on my induction burner. I was pretty happy with the outcome. The induction burner is hot enough to both causing searing of the salmon as well as charring of the vegetables. They all turn out really well. So I post a video each day. The goal is to help you to make home cooking as part of your daily routine using my fast cooking system. With this cooking system, you will find that it is possible for you to put a meal on the table in 20 to 30 minutes, which is about the same amount of time that you normally would spend to eat fast and ultra-processed food. But in this case, you can cook everything from scratch using fresh ingredients. So keep on cooking, and I will see you tomorrow.